Okay, for today's Will It Run video, I have this old Whizzer bicycle. A little bit of history on it. It was my wife's grandfather's, and her uncle has held on to it for quite a while. As far as I know, it was driven a few times in the 50s and got stored for quite a while. About 20 years ago, maybe a tad longer than that, her uncle sent the engine off to get it rebuilt. And they remounted it, and I think they drove it around a little bit, and then it got put in storage again. So it's been at least 20 years since this thing has ran, and we're going to see what happens. We'll get you some close-ups here of what's going on, what it looks like. The only thing I have done to this is I freed up the throttle and the compression release where they actually work. Everything else seems to be okay. The brakes don't return very good, but all in all, we're okay there. Okay enough to try it out. I did see if it had a spark, and it does have a spark. But I think we got a plugged up fuel tank. I put a little bit of fuel in it, and it took about 2 days for this bowl to fill up. So, plugged up fuel tank here, or possibly something in the carburetor not letting the air escape. So we'll go from there. We'll mess with the fuel system first, clean it up, and see what happens. But all in all, everything seems to work pretty good. The wheels are free, the bearings seem to be in good shape. Clutch seems to work. Of course, on this, there's not much of a clutch, it's just a belt tensioner. So there's not a whole lot to go wrong. The tires hold air, seem to be good enough for me to test run it and see what happens. We don't have an air filter on there. I think they originally came with one. I'm not sure. And however they powered the lights, whatever they powered it by, a battery I guess, is no longer existent. I did throw a battery on there just to see if they light up, and they do, so that's good, I guess. But let's see what we can do to get this thing going. So very first thing I want to do here is I want to open up the top of this carburetor and see if it's crusty in there or not. I might remove the whole carburetor and clean it. We'll see. We'll just pop that top off first and see what it looks like. That seems pretty brittle. Be replacing it. Well, it's not too bad. Not as bad as I expected, but this float is stuck. Pretty stiff. So if I'm lucky, that's why fuel wasn't filling that bowl. We'll play with that in a minute and see. But we're a little crusty in there, but not crazy. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the whole thing apart though and clean it out. Might as well. There's a crack here on the head where this bolts down. Looks like it was possibly welded up. It'll just be easy on that stud. Not much to it. Just need to make sure this passage is clean. This is a mixture jet, looks like. Just make sure that passage is clean too. Whatever's up here on the top. Looks pretty simple. Out of curiosity, I wonder if the fuel will flow now. Nope, no such luck. No biggie there. Let's get this carburetor cleaned out and we'll go from there. Alright, first, we'll go ahead and take this apart. Maybe not completely. I won't pull the throttle plate out or anything, or the choke, but we'll remove everything else. Definitely want to be able to remove this float bowl drain. I want to be able to drain it before storing it. Ooh. That's a bit crusty. Oh yeah, there's all kinds of stuff in there. Don't know if you can see that, but it's pretty full of crud. That's nice. I got a full pass through to clean that port out. That'll make it easier. Okay, not much to that. I'm going to leave this jet set like it is because it moves freely. And I think it ran before, so we'll go with that. Tell you what, if I sound a little tired and run down today, I am. I just spent a week in California and then a week in South Korea. And 13-hour time difference there, 13 hours in the future. So I'm still jet lagged and trying to adjust. Today might be the first night I actually slept good. Got a metal tip instead of rubber. That's good. Means it'll last a bit better. Wow. That's about it for taking it apart. I just got to clean it out. Hey, forgot one. There's a mixture screw right here also. Get a different screwdriver because we have a jet down in here. Looks like it'll come out. See what this jet looks like. It'll come out easy. Yeah. Okay. This is more like it. This needle controls fuel mixture through here. This actually sits inside of that. And when this goes down on the top, this needle controls fuel mixture through here. So one's going to be probably high speed and one's going to be idle. Get whatever obvious loose stuff I can. Seems there was no gasket on this. I'm not sure if there was supposed to be. Alright. Off camera here, I'm going to get a drill and wire brush, clean this out real good. And spray out all these passages with some carburetor cleaner and compressed air. And once I do that, I'll be back. Okay. Get everything cleaned out. There was a tricky passage here to get to. It runs from inside this threaded section to the bottom corner of the flow pole there. I was able to get a wire through it and then break it loose and get it cleaned out. Everything else was actually okay for the most part. These little jets here didn't take much to clean. I'm using clean as a relative term here. This is not a carburetor overhaul. This is, let's see what it takes to get it running. Then maybe do a nice job on this thing. But just want to see what we got at the moment without having to put parts and gaskets and stuff in it. Okay, first off, I will start by putting this one back. Okay, and this is next. Mixture screw. Go ahead and put this mixture screw in too. I wish I'd have turned it in all the way and paid attention to where it was. Forgot about that part. We'll do 1, 1.5. See where that takes us. Okay, this one goes in the top. Plug for the float bowl. Then we got the float itself. Alright, well, seems to work. Get screws for that. I left them over here. Yeah, this thing definitely would not have run like it is. The float was stuck closed for one, and the passageway for fuel was completely plugged from the bowl to the mixture screws. There we go. Complete assembly. Just throw it back on. Gasket on here looks like it's in good enough shape, so we'll go with it. Throttle cable. Got to be real easy here. I don't know what's up with that, but I think that's good enough. Okay, now let's see what we can do with this fuel tank. Okay, I'm going to start off with removing this bowl. If I'm lucky, my plugged area is on the outlet, but I don't know. Of course, that's stuck on there nicely. See if it comes out now. Nope, no such luck. Don't want to have to remove this fuel tank. Looking down inside of it, it's not very dirty. These pliers with no teeth, so don't tear this up. It has got some marks on it from pliers in the past. Looks like thread tape on there. Probably had issues with the packing leaking. And I don't think there's any way around it. Gas tank's going to come off, or at least the back half where I can lift it a little bit. Quite the mixture of screws holding this thing on. So I just spun this off real quick. See if we get anything out of here. It doesn't feel like I got. Oh yeah, you can see that's plugged up. It's nasty. Alright. I will work on that in a minute. Part's just as bad. Filter's in decent shape. That's good. Let me blast this out with brake cleaner and see how it does. Okay, I think I was recording earlier. Alright, well, maybe not. So this fuel tank is a little crustier than I thought once I got it out in the sun. I definitely need to fill it with some muriatic acid, get the rust out, and then coat it. But I think we're good. The fuel filter's good here, so I think we'll be good to go for this test run. But I definitely need to tear the carb apart, clean it properly, and do the same with the entire fuel system. But for now, we'll mount this up and see what we got. This pre-mixed true fuel is what I'm going to use to run it off of. I know this is a 4-cycle engine, and this is 2-cycle fuel, but this will be less smelly with this thing sitting around in the shop. And also, it can't hurt the rings to get a little bit of lubrication. And it will also stop the fuel system from corroding more. I don't think this valve entirely closes all the way, so we'll see if this doesn't overflow on me. Yeah, see it dripping in the bowl there? I'm going to go ahead and reuse this line anyway. I don't have a line here that's small enough. See what it does. So I guess now's the time to see if this thing runs. Glass is leaking a little bit of fuel here. Need a new cork gasket for that. A slight drip ain't going to hurt the test run though. Okay, so don't remember which way is compression release. I'll try it with the choke off first. Just realized this noise canceling mic probably shuts off the good noise. It fired right up. Let me get rid of this.
Well, she runs. Does not like all these hills and grass, that's for sure.